Welcome, hola, what's good? Hey, y'all, hey. You are tuned in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. Episode 6, Brace Yourself for the Truth. In life, we quickly learn that the truth is piercing. That's why it's so easy to say it hurts. The truth is powerful. That's why we seek it. Have you ever heard the saying, the truth will set you free? We grow to find that the truth is fulfilling. That's why we need it. The truth is rewarding. That's why we desire it. But one thing that we are not so excited about is that the truth exposes, meaning makes things visible. And depending on what you're wearing when the light shines on you, normally will determine whether you're for the truth or against truth. This episode was inspired by growing to a place where no matter what I was wearing when the light shined on me, I would be able to support myself in full confidence to grow on, or better said, to brace myself and intake all of what truth has to offer me and to move forward. This episode is here to encourage you to do the same, to point you in the direction of the fulfillment in truth, and to help you let go of the things that are disguising themselves as protection for your character. So wait no more. Grab your snacks, drinks, and chairs, and let's get ready to circle up. The truth. The truth is piercing. The truth is powerful, rewarding, fulfilling, and exposing. One may wonder, how in the world is the truth all of these things? How in the world do all of these things fall under one umbrella? Don't some of them contradict each other? How can you find truth to be all of these things? Well, let's dive right in. Let's go ahead and get to the root of how the truth is connected to all of these. The truth is piercing. That's why we say it hurts. When we think about a piercing, when we think about something piercing, when we think about something that is hurting or causing pain, when we think about anything that kind of grabs hold of piercing, we think about a stain. We think about something that is leaving a mark, something that is going to be remembered for a long time. And funny, but that's what the truth does. Whenever the truth comes across, depending on where you stand, depending on what side of truth you're on, you will find that it is definitely leaving a reminder, definitely leaving a mark in your heart and your mind. It's definitely making itself a home within you. I remember when I was younger and me and my sister, who's like 4 years younger than me, we would always find ourselves getting into stuff. But they actually called her, they renamed her Sticky Fingers, because she was the main one who was always plundering around and stuff and breaking stuff, touching stuff she didn't have no business touching. But there was times, honestly, that we both kind of had our hands in things, and that I was one, too old to be getting into, and she was one, too young to be getting into. But due to the name that they renamed her, it fit her character a bunch more than it would fit mine to mess with the things that we were messing with. And so there was a particular time that she ended up putting honey on one of our toys. It was this little yellow and blue little kid slide. It was she put honey. I don't know why the little girl wanted to decide to take the honey and spread it all over the slide. And the funny thing about it is, I wasn't even around her when she did this, but when we got questioned about it, I was hands down, sure it was her. First of all, there was nobody else in the house that could have done it. Second of all, I was too old to be playing around with honey, and I had better things to do because I had better toys that would satisfy me a whole lot more than a bottle of honey and a slide. And there's no telling what was going on in her mind, but I don't know. The girl is crazy. She cray, okay? But so she put honey all over the slide. And when my mother had questioned us about it, I remember looking her in her face and telling her it wasn't me. That was Ashley. You know, it had to be Ash. And my sister was like, no, it was Sissy. And she started crying and she kept saying how it wasn't her, it was me. And I remember at that time, I knew for sure I was telling the truth. There was nothing in me that flinched to make me feel like there was, like I knew that I didn't even have anything to do with it. And so that time, that day, that particular day, because I guess my mother couldn't figure out who was telling the truth and who wasn't, we both got in trouble. And in that moment, it stained me. It left a mark. It pierced me because I was telling the truth, but it was perceived as a lie. And not to say that, my mother was wrong for not pointing out or not being able to figure out who was telling the truth and who wasn't. But we're talking about me and where I was on the side of truth. And so it was crazy because although I was telling the truth, I still got in trouble. And so I remember at that time, it was going through my mind that my grandmother and my mother used to say all the time, the truth will set you free. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Tell the truth will set you free. But I felt like I told the truth in this incident and I was not free. So how is that true? How is that, encouraging? How is that something that's going to make me want to tell the truth the next go around? And it right then and there, it pierced me. The truth literally left a mark on me that I would never forget. And even though I laugh at it now and I think it's, just a silly, situation that happened long time ago, it's still something that I vividly remember. And I still remember the feeling of how I felt when I told the truth, but still had to pay a consequence. The truth is piercing. There was other situations where I told the truth and I was free. I told the truth and I didn't get in trouble. I told the truth and all was well. And those were just as piercing because I leaned back on the time when truth was placed out there and it literally was my get out of jail free card. But if you look at those situations, those two different situations, you see that, or you would think that, where is the saying, and the truth will set you free, valid? Well, we're going to get into that. You see, there's something in here that says the truth is rewarding. And once we tap into that, you'll see how even in the time that I told the truth, but I still got in trouble, how there was a reward in that. But leaning back into how it's piercing, every single time the truth is released, it leaves a mark. Every single time the truth is released, it pierced the heart, it pierced the mind. Whenever we're being examined, whenever we're being stripped and somebody is telling us a truth about us that is exposing things that aren't so beautiful, how do we receive it? How does it feel? If we're honest with ourselves, we'll find that it kind of stings. It kind of makes us hold our breath a little bit. It kind of, and sometimes, puffs us up. It kind of makes us shake our head and already find an answer to bark back. It kind of makes us get to this place where we feel like that's not true. We kind of decide to fall on the opposite side of truth. Yes, which are lies. and continue to lean into those lies so that we can better ourselves up. We can make ourselves feel a little bit better about what truth just did to us, about the piercing that truth just gave to us. We try to fill that piercing with lies that literally take the sting out of what was just revealed to us. Been there so many times, being challenged with the ugly side of me. And when it was exposed, I'd rather lean on an excuse than dig into the truth and heal and grow. So the truth is piercing. And that's literally why we say it hurts. The truth is powerful. The truth holds so much power. You see, it's in truth that many times we find our healing. Many times we find our space of increase. Many times that we find our space of growth. The truth does something. It breaks chains. It pulls us out of these holes. It pulls us out of these dark places. It releases us from these things that disguise themselves as protectors. You see, even going back to what I just said, when I used to be faced with truth and it attacked the ugly things, it shined the light on the ugly things in me, I would bury myself in the lies. And it's so crazy because we think about, lies. I don't really do that. But so many of us do it all the time. And we're just not 100% positive that that is exactly what it is. But let's unfold. Let's unfold those things and let's expose how they're lies. So when we're filling ourselves up with these things, there's little characters called shame and guilt and embarrassment that begin to wrap themselves around us. These are little things that begin to get real close on us and they begin to smother out the truth. You see, shame will tell you that you're rejected if you don't wear it. Guilt will tell you that you'll never be forgiven if you don't wear it. Embarrassment will tell you that you will forever be remembered in that place if you don't wear it. And see, these are the things that are the lies that disguise themselves as your protection. So instead of feeling the shame, instead of feeling the embarrassment, instead of feeling the guilt, or more so, instead of breaking through the shame, instead of breaking through the guilt, instead of breaking through the embarrassment, we put them on. Because of what they whispered to us. Because of what they showed us. But if we recognize those things for lies and we humble ourselves and sit back and really take on what the truth has to offer us, then we'll begin to see that shame has no way or no right to even speak to us. That guilt is only a disguise. And that forgiveness rests all around us as long as we get to that place where we can break through. Guilt is a non-existing factor. Embarrassment is weightless. You see, it all depends on how you look at the picture. It all depends on your perspective of the situation to even be able to hold on embarrassment, because embarrassment is telling you that this is how you'll forever be remembered. But if you break through embarrassment, and this is what I mean by breaking through embarrassment. If you break through embarrassment, which means go ahead and strip yourself from that lie. Go ahead and strip yourself from the thing that truth very much shined on you. Go ahead and grab hold to it. Wear it. Say, yes, that is a part of me. Yes, that is my current situation. Yes, that is the ugly side of me, but I don't desire to look like this. Then let me tell you something. Growth will begin to happen. And because you have now embarrassed yourself by taking on truth, you will begin to grow. And yes, the very thing that people will remember is how you accepted truth and defeated embarrassment. That moment will no longer be labeled as an embarrassment. It will now be a moment that people are striving to reach. People are attracted to. People are remembering how you did that very thing, and now it encourages them to do the same. Truth is rewarding. The truth is rewarding. You see, going back to when I told the story about how I told the truth and I was still caught up in trouble. But you see, there was another time in life later on down the road, and this telling these stories make it seem like, oh, well, girl, you had a lying problem, didn't you? But no, that's not it. What's it is these lies, shame, guilt, and embarrassment. When they wrap themselves around you, they create these things called white lies or half truths. But we all find ourselves entangled in them so that we won't feel the shame, guilt, and embarrassment. But let me get back to how truth is rewarding. You see, there was another time when truth had to be exposed. I had to get to a place where I no longer cared about what people would think, or no longer cared about the forgiveness, if it would be given or not, no longer cared about how people would remember me, because in the long run, these are people and their judgments, and it is me, it is I who has to suffer, because shame is heavy, guilt is heavy, embarrassment is heavy. So I'm literally suffering by holding on to these lies, by holding on to these things. I'm literally at a place where you cannot reach growth. You cannot reach your next level. You cannot reach all that truth has to offer you, because you're wrapped in these things that are birthing rejection. The truth is rewarding because when you release yourself from these things, when you decide to turn against them, when you decide to receive, you get this feeling in the inside, knowing that all is well. You get this feeling in the inside where you're not in a place where you care about being rejected. You're not in a place where you care about being forgiven. You're not in a place where you care about the things that are coming against you. There's a release of freedom, and that's how the truth is rewarding. It makes me think about the guy in jail. It makes me think about the guy that is locked up for some time, and he's locked up in this place or in this space where he's done some wrong. He's done some things that were unpleasing. But through it all, he told the truth. He exposed himself for all of who he was. He gave to you, emptied himself out. He wasn't holding on to shame, guilt, or embarrassment. He wasn't holding on to the things that birth rejection. Instead, he was freeing himself in a place of truthfulness. And because he gave forth all of his truth, he didn't have to go around carrying the weight for the rest of his life. He was able to move on and grow forward. Now, does he remember? Yes, he does. Now, from time to time, maybe he gets irritated, frustrated, sad, or upset about these things. Maybe if he dwells in it long enough. But because he broke through those things with truth, he's forever free. Sometimes speaking on this level of freedom can be hard to understand. It can be hard to take in because of the way shame, guilt, and embarrassment wraps itself around you. But there's a place where you don't have to feel suffocated. There's a place where you don't have to feel unwanted, undesired. There's a place where you don't have to feel ugly. There's a place where you don't have to feel broken. There's a place where you don't have to feel cast out. And this place is in truth. This place is in unfolding the truths about yourself. This place is the pure example of how truth is fulfilling. Because the truth erases all of those things from the inside. The truth frees from the inside out. You see, a lot of us wear these smiles that are not really ours. A lot of us, wear this demeanor that shows that all is good and all is well and I have no flaws and everything is always uppity doodle for me. But in reality, we're hurting, we're broken, we're shamed. We don't like the thoughts that just process through our head. We don't like our action, how we just fussed out the cashier lady for taking too long or ringing something up extra. We don't like how we just made our children feel unwanted because of something that we were going through. We don't like how we literally set a moody atmosphere around the whole house or the whole job workforce. We don't like the way that we're putting off these bad errors. But then when we get in front of those who we think are judging, those who we think that look up to us in a particular way, we change and we act like nothing's wrong. That's suffocating. That hurts. That's adding to the pain. Because truth is, you know the real feeling. Truth is, it's not a pretty feeling. Truth is, it's heavy. Truth is, it's undesirable. And truth is, you wish that you didn't have to live in that space. But also the truth says that you don't have to. Truth steps in and says, although you have all of these things and you move in all of these ways that are unpleasing, I have something for you. A space where you can be replanted and you can grow forward. A space where all of those things can be released and you can move in liberty. A space where no longer do you have to disguise who you really are. Truth. The truth exposes. You see, no matter how much we try to fake it, no matter how much we try to cover it up, no matter how much we try to bend and reshape it, when the light shines, it will literally expose all of those hidden areas. All of those secrets, all of those things that we thought we were keeping to ourselves. And that's what shame, guilt, and embarrassment doesn't tell you. They don't tell you that no matter what, there's those that can see straight through it. No matter what, you're going to be hurting because I'm only here temporary. I can only give you a fix for a few minutes. I can only make you look good for a little while. So I encourage you all today to grab hold of truth, to think about how you deal with truth. Then take another moment, go a little bit deeper and examine yourself, seeking on how you deal with truth when it's shining its light on you and exposing those not so exciting parts of you. I encourage you to break through shame, guilt, and embarrassment. I encourage you to break through rejection. I encourage you to become one with truth, to free yourself in this space. Because when you do that, there's nothing but growth ahead of you. Be blessed.